Welcome back to the Reality Check. Today, Demi's back on again.
Hi guys.
Yeah, we're definitely not filming it all on the same day in the same outfit. And we are with Ruby.
Hi.
So, Ruby, thank you for coming on. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Don't be nervous.
Try not to be.
Always helps when you tell them not to be nervous. Before we start, we always ask people to send in their topics of like things that they're interested in. And one thing that surprised me is you said that you have like conservative views about gender. So
Did I say about gender?
I think you did.
What did you mean to say?
More just like, well, I would consider myself to be quite central, but I think by today's standards, especially amongst sex workers, if you're not extremely left, they think you're really conservative. But I'm just like, I would think I'm quite central.
Do you think women nowadays are being propelled a lie about what they should really be doing with their lives? Do you think that they're pushing a false narrative onto women?
Who's they?
The media.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a general sense of like, fuck being traditional, or like fuck having children, which I think is bad.
Yeah.
I think women should have the choice to do whatever they want, but it shouldn't be a negative thing if what you want is to just like be a wife and have children. I think that's really nice and really important and probably like one of the best things you could do with your life. Do
you think that being a stay-at-home wife has been made to look like a bad thing now?
Yeah, I think it has.
Why do you think they've done that?
I don't know why. That's a question I don't think I could answer because I don't know, but I think it's really sad because I think a lot of women maybe will avoid that until it's like quite later on in their life and then not have as much opportunity to have that, you know?
So do you want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Yeah, I think now I'm older, I realise that I could have set my life up in a way to have that and that would have been really nice instead of working. I'm 27.
So on our channel, we have a 95% male subscriber base. So most of you guys are men and we get a lot of messages, but mostly on our like private Instagram about dating and the struggles of dating and what to say. I get guys messaging me like, mate, I keep getting rejected. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And we know how hard it is out there with dating apps. It's almost like impossible to get a date unless you're like in the top 5%. Me and CJ have gone on hundreds of dates. We kind of know exactly what to say and how to act on a date to, you know, get the deal done. But if I actually had to create like a step-by-step guide, I'd be absolutely useless at that. So we've decided to partner up with Marnie from the Wing Girl Method. So she is a renowned dating coach. She's got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. She teaches people like a science-based formula on how to date and how to get past that first, you know, awkward interaction. It's all science-based, so it's proven. She's helped over 100,000 men secure the ting, all right? So
she's like Hitch.
She's like the female Hitch. Yeah. So what we've done, we've partnered up with them. They've got a course that you can subscribe to and you'll get a discount if you sign up with us. So check the link down below. And if you're struggling with dates, if you're struggling to, you know what to say, how to act, check it out. And yeah, stop asking us because we don't know.
27.
Yeah.
She's still young, really.
Yeah, old for an OnlyFans girl though. Like,
Nah, not
I
that
think
old.
nowadays you're quite young.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25?
Yeah. I'm a baby.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm 25.
How old are
I
you
got
guys?
that vibe from you, to be fair.
You are?
I got that vibe from you.
What
I knew
vibe?
you was at my age.
How old are you?
27.
Jesus, there's a lot of ages going. Okay, we're all in the pretty much similar.
Yeah. Anyway, we got quite deep straight away. Like that was really deep. Can we just lighten up a little bit? So you do OF, right?
Yes.
How did you get into that?
So it was really random. I was in university at the time and I had a part-time job, and it was suggested to me by the person I was dating at the time. They were like, do you know what Findom is?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't know what Findom is. I've never heard the word. And he was like, well, basically you like give people the middle finger and they give you money, or you like send pictures of your feet or something and they give you loads of money. And then I, at that age, thought, okay, well, that's like kind of like fine to do like while I'm in uni and not really like think about it any deeper than that. I didn't consider it at all. I didn't even like know that that was sex work in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I did that. Then I started making like TikToks and stuff because it was lockdown. There was like nothing else to do. And then I went on a Sidemen video, and then that was it. Everyone knew who I was. And then I was doing OnlyFans for a job. So.
And what stage did you, what stage of doing OnlyFans did you get to? What was like the maddest like stuff you were doing?
Do you mean as in earnings or as in
like content? So
I have done fully explicit content on my OnlyFans.
Do you regret that, or because obviously you sound like you've changed your thoughts on like doing OnlyFans and stuff?
I think regret would be probably not the right word, but if I could go back in time, I would definitely have different eyes on it.
Yep.
It was never my plan.
Do you do fully explicit now?
It's available on my page, but I'm not currently making it.
Okay.
What's your niche then?
I don't know. My niche is Ruby Hexx.
Yeah, but like you do cosplay stuff, right?
I do cosplay stuff on there, yeah.
That's a niche, really, isn't it?
I guess, yeah.
Because not everyone does it. And people probably subscribe to you for that.
What have you dressed up as? Like Spider-Man?
That
Spider-Man girl earned loads of money, didn't she? 40 million in a year, didn't
Who?
she? Don't know, some girl dressed up as Spider-Man.
40 million in a year?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
She put it on.
I've seen you do like street interviews in like some like superhero outfits and stuff
like that. Like Fortnite, like the Diva outfit.
Yeah.
To be fair, that doesn't go down very well in person. Like kids will run past like, yo, you're Diva. And I'm like, yes, I am. But it makes me feel a bit like, I'm like, oh no, I feel like, that was a bit of an error in judgment. So I don't go out doing the interviews in that outfit now because it didn't look very good on the camera and it only attracted like young teenagers. So I was like, fuck.
Are you a bit of a gamer nerd?
No, I'm not really. I like playing Call of Duty, but I actually find like cosplaying fun, but I didn't get into it through gaming or like watching loads of anime. I got into it because I just like liked dressing up.
Would you ever want to have like anime sex, like say with your partner? Like you dress up as like Spider-Man and he's like Batman, and you guys fight and then like you end up having sex.
What, Spider-Man and Batman?
I don't know.
At least
man.
keep it to the same thing.
Like...
Which ones have sex?
What's wrong with the big
Catwoman? You dress up as Catwoman.
That's Batman still. We're talking about Spider-Man.
What's
Dr. Octavius? You could be Dr. Octavius. You could be Spider-Man.
Wait, and then it will be like the tentacles, like hentai. So
well, like the metal things, you know?
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Yeah, definitely.
Have you got one of those tentacle things or no?
What, like a doctor suit?
No,
do you know what's
That's
funny? Yeah, we was going to talk about like conservative stuff, and I've just absolutely ruined it.
I know. We'll go back to that.
Yeah, later.
But tell us about the tentacle dildos that you have.
Wait, Ruby, can you just bring the mic a little bit closer to your face?
Like here.
Yeah, there we go.
I didn't say I had tentacle dildos. That was your.
Oh.
They're yours.
I heard you say it.
I did not say that.
No, I'm joking.
I don't have any.
You brought them up.
No, him. It's him, Mr. Octavius here or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's not tentacles, mate.
No. I feel like I'm interrupting something between the two of you. I feel like this is Spider-Man and Dr.
Don't give him any ideas.
I think you could be Catwoman and then he could be Batman. That would be pretty hot. You could make a scene like that.
That would work.
I don't know.
I always thought Catwoman was sexy back in the day. When I was like 10 years old, I was watching it like, oh. Did you not?
I think everyone did.
The latex stuff. Do you guys have any other like anime crushes?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, anyone.
No, I'm not really into cartoons.
What do you mean, like?
Have you ever seen like Simpsons porn on the side of on the side of Pornhub?
Well, yeah, it's always there.
Yeah.
I'm not into it though. Are you into it?
Yeah, sometimes, Marge's looking a little bit bad,
Maybe that can be my next cosplay, Marge Simpson.
What, with the big blue hair?
Yeah. like I could get like the yellow body paint.
Yeah.
Like when you go in for surgery and they like paint you yellow, and I can just put the wig on.
Yeah, go for it.
Do the interviews like that, maybe.
So what conservative views do you actually have then?
Oh, we're at this again.
I actually want to know.
So...
Because you do OnlyFans, you're not a typical like girl who would seem to have conservative values. So what conservative values do you have?
I think the things that would make me come across as more conservative are that I don't hate men. And I think like having children and like having a family is like a really nice thing. And I think that women that get to stay at home are very lucky.
Why do they hate men? Yeah, why is it?
I think because it's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, but why do people who are angry at men for hating women hate men?
What?
Doesn't make any sense. No, because
Yeah.
right. So feminists, right? Some feminists, really extreme feminists, yeah, not all of them. They hate men, but they're angry at men for hating women. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it comes across to me as like quite bratty and spoiled. Kind of like I want men to look after me, but also like fuck you. I don't know, but I believe in like equal rights. I don't think like women should be in the kitchen unless they want to be. You know, I'm not saying that, but I think I don't know. I consider myself just like normal and in the middle.
I think women have more rights than men now in Western countries.
Yeah.
I think being a woman is amazing. I think it's really nice. And I think I'm lucky because I've got nice men in my life. So maybe that's why I think that, you know, maybe some women aren't as lucky. Maybe they've met horrible men or something. And that's why they think that way.
I think it's a lot harder to be a man
than a woman.
Yeah, in some circumstances, definitely. You know, there's a lot more expected from men, you know?
It's tough being a man. If you're not like successful as a man, you are pretty much ignored by women.
I wouldn't say ignored, but I think you kind of meet your match in a sense. Like men who have got money have got wealth. Like if you walk around Monaco, every bloke that with a Victoria's Secret model was they've attracted that kind of what category of woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas your 9-to-5 Joe, unless he's really good looking and he's really funny and he lands on his feet with someone, he's gonna attract the same kind of woman, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also think that if you're a woman and you have a 9-to-5 job, you can attract a very high value man.
Yeah, by the way you look.
Yeah.
Well, I think women can attract a high value man by either the way they look, being smart, being stupid, being like anything.
Stupid?
Yeah, like if you're ditzy and cute, you know, you're like, oh,
some men love that.
I'm so cute, you know. Oh, I'm so stupid, you know. You could, but like that would work. Or you could be like, I'm really serious and I'm really intelligent, and that will work. And you could be like, I'm really rich, I'm really poor. It doesn't really matter.
But you see how like a lot of like the female's value comes down to the man that they can hold down, whereas the man has to earn his value, and it's really hard to earn that value as a man. I think you have to be extremely successful.
Yeah.
And to achieve that success for a man, it's...
Well, yeah, like I feel like men, okay, we have to provide and protect, but 90% of men cannot provide for a woman.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
They can't. So that one thing, you're done already.
And
Most
also...
men can't provide for the kids, let alone...
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. You got to earn a lot of money to provide for a family.
Yeah, and society puts a lot of pressure now on men to be able to provide more than what is reasonable. Like women look at like social media and they go, oh look, he's been taking her here, he's doing it, and then they like get like little snapshots of other people's relationships, and then they compare it to yours, and then they go, oh, you're not doing enough for me, you're not doing it, and then they just end the relationship there. They don't even understand how difficult it is for a man.
It's not easy to generate money, like in that lifestyle. You've either got to land on your feet and you've got a bit of luck, or you generally have to graft hours on end. I don't think women understand that. Well, a lot of women, from my experience, I just want to go shopping, go to the hairdressers. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of it as well, but they don't understand that. Like, for example, like this entrepreneur life, for example.
Yeah.
You don't get to work at 9 to 5. You work 16 to 17 hours a day. It doesn't stop. And it's 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So how are you comfortable dealing with her having only. Oh, wait. By the way, this is.
Let's backstep a little bit.
I think I've just appeared. I was waiting for the introduction. Is that right? Anyway. I'm just saying that. This random man.
Yeah.
We're all single,
Just teleports in.
and we don't know who it is. We've got the Deliveroo driver who's just turned up. And he's got some opinions. So he's just here like, hey. Oh, God, that's funny.
So this is our Uber guy. This is Ruby's boyfriend.
Hi, my name's Jason.
How long are you two? How long are you two been together for?
So about 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay. And were you doing OnlyFans before you went out?
Me or him?
I don't know. Do you do OnlyFans?
No, I don't do anything. No.
Yeah, I was before we met.
Okay. And how did you find that? How did you find?
Well, God, should I tell you how? Should I tell them how we met? It's a funny story.
I want to know how you met.
Do you guys want to know how we met?
I do, yeah.
So we met after lockdown, like ish time, sometime whenever that was. I was like, right. So my actual story kind of coming into it's quite funny. So I was working as an engineer at British Gas, just like fitting electric and gas meters. And then I went from that. I decided to become a financial advisor. So then I started taking my exams. I did all my exams and I was like, cool, once I commit to this kind of career, it's going to be very, very like full on. So I'm not going to have time to pursue anything else. So I was like, why don't I play music, play guitar, sing. I've played in bands and stuff in the past, nothing popular, but let me try doing some music for like a year, see how it goes. Sorry, let me talk to the mic. see how that goes for a time. And then give me a chance. Then if it goes somewhere, that's cool. If not, I'll then hop onto my financial advice.
Yep.
So I started looking for bands, met Ruby in a band. She was married to the bassist.
Oh no, my guy pulled a robbery.
Oh man, you're a home wrecker, Jason.
This is the
Jason.
this is the ex who originally got her into OnlyFans, who was into some niche stuff, we'll put it that way. No, not throwing any shade on him, but yeah, it's what it is. And then we ended up having an affair.
Oh my God.
And then
was it a sneaky one?
I love this.
This is juicy.
having an
We're
affair.
living for this, isn't it?
And then I ended up not becoming a financial advisor. Then we got together and then ended up doing OnlyFans. So it's quite the twist of times.
Okay, there's so much to unpack here.
You've been married.
So I thought I'd have to lighten the mood, bring a bit more. They brought in the ringer.
Oh, and we recently discovered we recently discovered I'm still married when we thought I was divorced.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
so she's
it
actually
gets
still married
worse.
to that ex now. And that was like 3 years ago.
So yeah, that's
So-
Wait, why did you think you got divorced and you didn't? What? What?
So I sorry, I keep knocking the mic. I thought he had just sorted it out and
Basically, he spelled her name wrong.
Oh no!
Maybe part of the reason they got divorced.
So we were doing something. I can't say too much about
Your husband
it.
spelt your name wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's why he was becoming ex-husband, obviously. No, technically he missed out my middle name. So, but yeah.
Okay.
So I thought we were divorced, and then I had to do some stuff for some legal things, and they needed my decree absolute, which is your proof of divorce or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that'll just be like in my emails somewhere. And then, a few phone calls later.
So are you getting divorced now?
Yes, proceedings have began.
So wait, do you both get half each other's stuff?
No, it's very amicable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, you're not taking each other for anything?
no.
Does he not know that you shacked up with the other band member?
Oh, so
He does now.
yeah.
He does. And
He didn't really care. We told him, we were in a band with him, and he's a bit of what I'd call like an unusual guy. And when we were one day, we said to him, by the way, like we're in a relationship now. Something. We feel really uncomfortable still being in the band and not telling you, because we felt really. So the start of a relationship was very difficult, which is what you were originally saying about. It was a difficult OnlyFans. We had more than the OnlyFans difficulty. We obviously had a lot of stressed at the start of our relationship because of this. So we didn't just do it thinking, oh, we don't care. We felt really bad about it. But
I'm sure you felt really
Couldn't have
bad.
felt that bad to do it.
I'm sure you felt so bad.
He felt so bad when he was sliding it in. No, babe, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Wait, I feel so good.
But that's funny. We told him, and he was like, this is literally his words. We're like, we don't want to lie to you anymore. We are like together now. We started going out and stuff. Yeah. He was like, cool. He just said, cool. Are we still practicing today?
Oh my God. Wait.
He was like, we had band practice a few hours later.
He said, cool, I thought so. Anyways, are we still practicing today or tomorrow, whenever it was?
It was that day. It was like a few hours
Was there an overlap then, like between the two? With where you
seemed like there was.
You were like, still getting with him, and like, because obviously if he's still married to you, he's going to be like, oh well, I'm still going to get with my wife.
But so to put it in the sort of most respectful way I can, things had been breaking down in my relationship with him, so it wasn't happy days. Everything. Oh, sorry, it wasn't. Everything's like really nice and happy. And then
he wasn't clarting your pussy then.
Oh my God.
Definitely not.
that dried up a long time ago. The new band member came in and it got moist again.
I'm not going for the double dip.
So hold on a minute. Where did your husband think you was when you were like on dates and seeing your boyfriend?
Practicing band practice. Private lessons.
you know what, right? I do feel bad.
No, you don't.
Let me say.
Who watches this? Sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad, right? But it first happened because we obviously fancied each other and stuff. Little, flickers across the band room, like as we're playing bass again. Little winks, yeah. But it actually kicked off when Ruby was going to a festival. And she said to her partner, will you come with me? I've gotten VIP, like, because her friend's in a successful band. Free tickets to go. And he was like, no. So she asked like 3 or 4 friends. They didn't want to go. So then she asked me. And I said yes. And then he was like,
yes.
And he was like, no problemo, go get an Airbnb together. So if you don't take your girlfriend away for the weekend, and you let another guy take her away for the weekend.
Yeah, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
So
like, add another thing.
Obviously, if your girlfriend says come away for the weekend with me, and you say no, but you're like, I'll let her male friend do it instead. What do you expect?
So it happened the first time.
Huh?
So you slept together the first time that weekend.
you look so done. Yeah.
Well, I feel bad because I'm not divorced.
I love that for you guys.
Yeah, but you're over though. You was probably over a long time.
He might be asking for half of the stuff after this podcast.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem like he cares.
No, I think obviously some things have to stay private, but he was not into me. There was we would. After that, we would kind of, I just bought a new car. I just bought an Audi TT for the first time. And I was like, oh, this is really cute. And then I would be like, I want to go out and like have some fun and drive around in it. So I'd be like, hey, Jason, do you want to like meet up and like hang out in my new car? And like my ex just wouldn't care. He'd just be like, yes, see ya, bye. I think.
Well, if he's asking you to do OnlyFans, like he's telling you to do it, like I just don't feel like you would do that to someone if you really cared about them. Or like
I disagree with you on that.
Really?
In a sense, yeah.
To your wife?
No, not my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Some like random girl I was seeing.
No, he was married to her.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit. I don't know. No.
It's a bit strange to ask them to do it. So how did he come to you and say, why don't you do OnlyFans?
It wasn't really like it wasn't really such a big thing like that. It was very small things. It was he would tell me about Findom, and this was even before we were going out. We were friends before we were going out, and he would say, oh, you should do Findom, and I'd laugh it off. And I look back at it now, and I'm like, oh my God, I was kind of like led into something, but I didn't know. He'd just make these jokes now and again, and I'd be like, that's super funny.
How did he know what Findom was? I think this guy secretly was into that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. So that's obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. At the time, I didn't really know. I was quite a bit younger as well. I was like 22 or something. I can't remember. So yeah, it was like that. And then it was kind of like, oh, well, you should put like your feet pictures on an OnlyFans page because then people can subscribe and pay for it. You know, and then I was doing the TikTok stuff, dances. That went viral without me really meaning it to. I think you'd seen me on TikTok before we'd met.
No, only when I'm at the band. You weren't that famous, sorry.
Maybe not.
Okay.
And then yeah, then the Sidemen video came out, and then after that there was just no going back because like thousands of people subscribed, and then it was just like, okay, this is what I do now. And then yeah, I ended up quitting my masters and just doing it full time.
You quit your masters to do OnlyFans?
Yeah.
What were you doing a masters in? Oh, well, you must be pretty intelligent then.
I get that vibe.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
I get that vibe from you.
Maybe not, because I quit my masters to do OnlyFans, so that would actually prove the opposite.
What was you doing at university?
Pardon?
What was you doing? What was you doing masters in?
My bachelor's was creative musicianship, and my master's that I did not finish was learning and teaching in the music industry or something.
Oh, okay, so you probably would have earned more money doing OnlyFans.
I was studying I was on my way to become a university lecturer, so it would have been like an okay job. But
how many instruments can you play?
not many. I mainly sing. I play a little bit of guitar and a bit of keys.
Can you sing to us?
Yeah.
That was great.
She's a good singer.
That is so funny.
Wait, what do you do? Because you were in the band.
What do you mean, like, what do I do for a job now?
Guitar,
No,
guitar player.
My main instrument is guitar. I also sing, play bass, and a little bit of drums.
He's also a really good singer.
You both sing quickly.
I'm not singing here.
We can put links to
You can
songs.
put like a tiny little clip of something.
Yeah, we've got
we can send you a link,
Spotify and that kind of stuff.
You're a good bassist.
Oh yeah, do a little bit of bass.
As well, yeah. But, my main instrument is guitar. I've been playing since about 5.
Okay, wait. So, you had to deal with the marriage. That was a milestone, and then obviously the OnlyFans part. Like, how do you feel about all of that?
So, I mean, it's been like an interesting journey. Obviously, I think I'm a lot more traditional than most people in the industry, and obviously in her journey, her ex-partner, which is probably why we are now, where we don't do any of that stuff anymore. It's very difficult, I guess.
Did you do it at the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess everyone's personality traits are different. I would say I'm someone who's very high in like trait openness. So in any relationship, I always try to give the other person's way of thinking, way of doing things a go and see how that goes, which I guess is what I did in this case. And then, and then evaluate it. And then if I don't think it's the right thing, then try and steer it towards what I think is the right thing, which is what we how we've come around in our relationship.
Do you, you know what? I'll be honest though. I feel like it doing what you guys do means you guys have to kind of stick it together now because you've made content together. I mean, if you break up, other people are going to see it. So you got to figure stuff out more. You got to work together more in like a relationship.
Yeah, I think also in terms of the difficulties of being a guy in the industry, I mean, if we're just saying just facts, no one gives a shit if you're a guy and you've done porn.
Yeah.
No one really cares. People just the women will get the heat. The guys don't really get
to
the
a certain
heat,
extent. If you start going into like the guy stuff,
maybe,
and that's what most of them do.
That.
Yeah,
but what I mean is, if you're like, you and your partner make some content, and there's like one video of you doing whatever online, most people aren't going to be like, oh my god,
no, it's true.
They're just not really going to care. If you put in a good performance, everyone's going to be like, well done, all good.
Yeah, some traditional women though won't
yeah,
talk
of
to
course,
you.
yeah.
So that's just one thing. But okay, so you two, when did you guys stop deciding to make that kind of content?
Was it like a year ago?
It was right after the ITV2, like the day we filmed with ITV2. So maybe like a year ago.
What did you do with the ITV?
They followed me around for the day while I feel like I'm being so rude to you. It's because I'm trying to like get
it's all good.
look at me like this. They followed me around for the day while I did interviews in the street, like interviewing strangers, asking them to date me.
Right. Okay. So what you do on your Instagram?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you do? Go on. Interview me.
Would you rather
$100
to go on a date with me?
Is that what you ask people?
Yeah.
$100.
100%.
Why?
I'll take the money all day.
Do I get the $100?
No.
No.
Well, you got to actually walk around with the money, innit?
No, because
That'd be
it's a
expensive.
hypothetical question.
So how many have said they go on a date with you? Have you ever gone on a date with any of them?
Maybe.
And where did you go? Where did you take them?
We don't film that bit.
Do you actually go on a date with them? No, you don't do
Maybe.
You actually, you know what? You should do that. You should say $100 or a date with me. Anyone who says they go on a date with you, you should take them on like go to like Wagamama's or something like that and actually film the whole thing.
Yeah.
That would actually be great content.
We have thought about it, but
He can watch. He can
you can
sit
sit
there
in the corner and watch.
No, security guard. If anything goes wrong, just don't pick like a really big dude.
most people say no or F off.
Yeah,
most common one.
I've seen a few videos where they just tell you to go away.
Or they'll say $100, and then but it's like the older guys, like they don't give a shit anymore. They'll be like, yeah, I'll take you out, I'll take you here, I'll take you there, I'll take you everywhere.
They don't get much attention, so they're like, wow. They probably don't know it's a social media prank as well.
Maybe. I mean, they always like see the camera and stuff, but I think they probably because they're like so much older, they can't like judge me in the same way someone the closer age to me could. They'd just be like, oh, nice girl, being like friendly. They probably don't judge me the same as like some you guys would like be like, she's wearing this, she's doing that, you know, kind of thing.
Oh, I got a question for you. How much, if someone came up to you and offered you like 10 grand to sleep with your partner, would you accept it?
Wait, what do you 10 grand to sleep with my partner?
Yeah.
I feel like the question needs to be like, oh, you mean them sleep? I think meant me to sleep with my partner.
No,
I was like, well, yeah, 10 grand, I'll sleep with my partner. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. To sleep with your partner.
No, absolutely not. Of course not.
100 grand?
No.
There's
no amount of money.
No amount of money?
Yeah, no.
So you're telling me someone came to you with £1 million, just one night?
No.
I think you meant that.
So I actually, in our personal life, when we met, I didn't watch any porn at all. Obviously I had in the past, but I chose not to do it, and I still haven't done that for years and years now.
It's good, right? I'm teetotal on porn.
Literally.
You liar.
I am.
I thought you were into the Simpsons.
like the Simpsons
stuff.
porn.
Yeah, that's what you said to me, mate.
No, I've seen the
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
I've seen you watching porn, mate.
When?
You do it all the time.
That's so weird.
Watching porn.
I feel
No,
like
not
this
when
is
he's
just-
naked, but he'll be like watching something on his laptop. I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, mate, look at this massive clip. Or something
Mate,
like
you know what that was?
yeah. No, okay, can we just go back to the whole married thing just for one question?
Okay.
So how long was you having to be like really sneaky for, or did you not admit to be sneaky?
Oh God. It wasn't that long because jokes aside, it wasn't supposed to be, and we, like a ha, we're having an affair kind of thing. So it genuinely, I like to believe it happened because it was meant to happen, and we tried to do the right thing, which was as soon as, that had happened, I was like, okay, I need to end this relationship and get out and sort everything out like ASAP in the most reasonable way possible. So it wasn't
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm a very big believer, once a cheat, always a cheat.
Mm-hmm.
If you could cheat on your husband, no offence, you're only a boyfriend, what chance does he stand? You might say I'm in love with him now, but what in a few years' time, you meet someone new and they light your eyes up like he did, and that's when you were playing the guitar. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, and I think I do believe, like, if people do that later on in their life, so if someone's like, they've cheated in their teens, they cheated in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, I think that's once a cheater, always a cheater. But I think if somebody does something like when they're, sort of, they do something once like that and it's like a big thing for them, I think it's a bit different. And I think the reason I did it wasn't, like, oh, this is just like fun, fuck it. It wasn't that kind of thing.
So you didn't get a buzz out of it at all, neither of you?
Not the fact that it was bad almost made us like just like not be able to have a relationship even after it happened. And even after it happened, I was like, even if things don't work out with him, I have to leave my husband anyway.
Yeah, you was leaving him regardless of the situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't happy, and I would have left him anyway. And I just wouldn't dare cheat. Just wouldn't.
So, do you know what, Demi? That was a really good question. Jason, did you thought about that before? Have you
thought about whether she cheat on me?
Kind of like or whether, like, obviously all respect, like you was married, you had a relationship before, and then you've left the relationship for you. Have you ever thought about that?
Personally, I don't know. I've never ever worried about someone cheating on me ever. I think I'm a really, really good partner, and not to be like, well, I'm great, but I think I'm a very good partner. I think I'm more loyal and better than most guys, but I'm not like a simp or anything like that. I don't mean like better than most guys in terms of as man on man, but in terms of how I treat my relationship, I think I'm more decent than most people. And knowing what I know about her past relationship, I don't think anyone can blame her for doing what she did. But I do think that as a person, you project the things that you want to have happen to you. So if you worry all the time about your partner's going to cheat on you, your partner's going to cheat if they're going to cheat. I think they've got that inside them.
Yeah, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
I think there's nothing you can do to stop that. And I think that if it happens, you deal with it when it happens. And that's what I've thought about all of my relationships, regardless of their past. I think if I judged their character to be like a bad character, then I wouldn't go out with them in the first place. But I think Ruby has a good character. I think she's made some mistakes in the past. And if she did cheat on me, then I mean, what can I do about that? All I can do is it's her mistake, and then move on from there, basically. That
was literally the perfect answer, really, wasn't it?
Would you marry her?
Yeah, maybe.
Not while I'm married. So.
We're not there yet, but
just say yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Okay, I want to ask a question. Why were you married at that age? Because when did you get married?
Got married in Vegas.
Oh, that's wicked.
Oh my
Babe,
God.
I'm so with you on that.
So why are you not married then?
Yeah.
Is it legal to marry a girl in America? It's not, is it?
Who knows?
No, you can.
I don't know coming back marrying a bloke. I've never been to Vegas. If I went to Vegas, I know hand on heart, I'd end up marrying a random bloke. I know I would because that's just me.
I didn't know that was legally binding, those marriages in Vegas.
It is legally binding. People think it isn't because of the state rules and the laws, etc. But it is actually legally binding.
Would you get a prenup?
What?
Would you get a prenup?
Absolutely. Depends how much she's got. If you've got more than me, then absolutely not.
Yeah, so why you got married at what age?
How old was I?
It was like a few years ago, I don't know.
It was like 24 or 25.
Oh, so this was quite recently?
Yeah, it was in like the last like 3 or 4 years. But I, so it wasn't like, jokes aside, if you take it into consideration, it wasn't a very like serious marriage. It was like, we did this thing and we should not have done that. So it also then...
How long did you guys know each other? How long were you in that band?
2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And how long did you know him? Like, was he one of your friends?
No, I met them both just in the band.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because if he was your friend, it would be a bit different. But if you had no loyalty towards him before her, you met them at the same time.
No, I met them at the same time, just in a
fair.
band. Yeah, no, I would never do that to a mate or something like that.
Fair
Absolutely
enough.
not. No, I've never cheated on anyone.
How did you find this band?
Just online. Just like there's websites, like it's literally a website.
Band Finder.
Join my band.
Do you like swipe right or swipe left?
He saw her and he went, yeah, I'm joining that one.
Did you have like an instant connection when you met each other? Was it like a spark?
Yeah, I'd say we were like, I'd make you laugh a lot at band practice, like way too much, and it'd be like awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really get told off for messing around those.
I remember the first day I met you, I'd never spoken to you. It was the other band member who was talking to you, so I was just like, just going to meet some random guy.
This is cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, this is going so...
She's like, I remember the first time I met you in band practice.
But yeah, and I was just like in my gym clothes, but like not like hot gym clothes, just like, I've been to the gym and I was really tired. I was like, gonna meet this guy, we're gonna like play some guitar, he's probably gonna be weird or whatever, like, you know, that was my thinking. And then when we opened the practice door and the practice room door, and I saw him, I was like, oh shit, he's really hot.
Yeah, fuck my husband. Is he? I've got an impression that he's old. I've got an impression that your ex-husband is old, or husband, seeing as you're not divorced.
He's older than me, but he's not...
How much older?
Is he like 40?
No, he's early 30s.
Okay.
But I think the age gap at the time is relevant. So now, sort of someone in their mid-20s and early 30s is normal. But I think if you're in your very early 20s and then the other person's kind of in their mid to late 20s, depending on the relationship, you may not be ready to date someone of that age.
I think that's pretty normal still.
No, it can be. But I think it depends on the individual, especially because girls can be really mature and ready, and sometimes they can be too impressionable and too kind of like, you know, for example, I met someone now, I wouldn't be in a position where they're like, hey, have you tried Findom? I'd be like, what? You know, not just like, okay, you know, it's a bit different when you're younger.
So like when you're 20, like for example, when you're 18, you don't want what you want when you're 20. When you're 20, you don't want what you're 22. As a woman, your mind develops, what you want changes. Whereas a man, no offence, lads, but you develop a lot later, it seems, in my opinion.
It's true. We actually do. We actually do.
Guys are just like vibing pretty consistently, and then they're like, all right, ready to settle down now.
I mean, things that kind of amuse a bloke wouldn't amuse me, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like the thing, like you guys, you'd probably watch a video and be like, still on about for 5 days. Whereas me, I'd be like, what the fuck are you lot about?
No. Girls have the worst sense of humour like ever, mate. I see girls like laughing at shit that ain't funny at all, mate.
No, because you're chilling with the wrong girls.
It's the best ones when your partner comes home and goes, I've got a video of me and the girls. It's the funniest thing ever. And it's like,
never funny.
Walking down the road and one of them like trips a little bit.
I feel personally attacked.
Like 3 days ago. And they're like, the day we had was wild. Like, we rented push bikes.
It's so true. So true.
And you're like, oh, that's so funny, babe.
So do you think you will ever just completely quit OF then?
It's a good question, and I don't know the answer. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Like, I don't know how I feel about, you know, doing it and then being at an age where I might have children sort of in the near future, but I don't mean to scare you, but you know what I mean. Like in somewhere in the next like 5 years or something, you know. So that's so unknown for me. I have no idea.
Do you want to quit? Do you want to get out of it?
I think where we are with it now, I feel quite comfortable with it. I think it's difficult. I think people find it really easy to judge those who have gotten into it, because I think most people have never been in a situation where they had the opportunity to even say yes or no. So like when you have a page that's made like over $1 million, then an average person goes, I wouldn't do that. It's like, okay, well, if you sat there and someone put $1 million on the table in front of you and said, here is your choice, most people don't even get the option to make that choice. So for them to judge someone who has had that choice is quite difficult, because a lot of people would do a lot more for a lot less.
Well, I mean, I offered you, not me personally offering you, but I said $1 million for someone to be one night with your partner. I think what would you rather? Would you rather one night with your partner, or them to do OnlyFans for multiple years?
But think what you guys could do with £1 million.
Well, I think the difference.
What about
a bill.
I think
$1 billion.
She's looking
there's
at
a
you
big
bad. I'm
difference.
making a decision for
No, he's lying. £1 billion.
Would you let him with another woman for £1 billion?
I'd let him make the choice, but he'd say no.
Yeah, no. I think there's a big. All right,
£1 billion
That is a big mistake, mate.
Right,
I thought you were intelligent up until now.
But the thing is, I guess you're asking the wrong kind of people, like, because you're asking people who, like you say, have got that kind of income on the table with an OnlyFans, and it's easy to say,
billion? You ain't getting
but when you get to a certain amount, the money kind of doesn't mean as much to you. Where you know,
$1 billion does though.
Right? No, but
$1 billion
I don't need $1 billion.
I have a question.
I don't need $1 billion. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need $1 billion.
No, but you do. Everyone needs
partner.
$1 billion.
Everyone needs a long-term partner.
Everyone, yeah, and a mother and a wife.
This might be out of line, but do you financially keep him, or does he financially keep you? Are you quite equal?
It's very equal, yeah.
What about before, when you first met? Obviously, if you was on OnlyFans and you absolutely smashed up, surely you would have had more of an income. Then you've learnt what she does and you've jumped on it from a management point of view.
Well, he had a job when we met, though, so it was never like an unequal thing. It was more just like we were normal people, but I had a very high-paying job. But it was never, he works in a bar and I've got OnlyFans or something like that. He had a really good job.
Yeah, we were never in a situation where she's paying for like everything and just taking care of me, and I'm just like pissing around on the sofa.
No, you worked full time when we met.
I worked full time.
Yeah.
Then we started a management company very early on, and so her income's obviously a lot higher. But yeah, I'm not one of those guys who just like sits in the corner smoking weed while his girlfriend's trying to film TikToks and stuff. We were very together from the start, and when we met, her page, her Instagram had like 40,000 followers, and we built it together up to 350k, and like it went down, so it might be a bit lower than that.
You organically grow that just from like reels and
from
stuff.
us filming together all the time, so we took it seriously as a job together very quickly.
And we split the revenue and stuff now, so it's different. When we first met, it was I had an OnlyFans page, he had his own engineer and financial advice, all that kind of stuff, and it was very separate. But quite quickly, we started our company together and things like that.
But it's
we
lovely
love
to
stress.
say a power couple. It's really nice. It's very rare you see it nowadays.
That's pretty mad though. Usually when girls earn money, they don't share it with the man.
I definitely wouldn't. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I guess like it depends what kind of man it is, because if it was the kind of guy that was not doing a job and stuff, you wouldn't want to share your success or share your money. But I owe a lot of my success, almost all of it, to
Your husband.
He
told you to get into Findom. Shout out the husband. Hey, he told you to get into it, and now you lot are getting the milk and the rewards. Poor guy.
He's not watching. So funny. Well, yeah, but so the kind of it's a team effort to run the social media and to run our company. And
we definitely saved it. But
you were interested.
Yeah, it was good. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah. I had one more question to ask, but we'll leave it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having us on. Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
That was fun.
Yeah, and we weren't that bad.
No, we just stayed chatting for ages. The time flies. You said it would, didn't you? It would go quickly.
Awesome. All right, thank you guys.
Nice.
I hype. I'm having a hard time.
That was so funny.
I fucking high five.
That was good.